getting a project funded can be difficult. In fact, lack of funding, no matter how small the amount needed, can be the thing that stops a project dead in its tracks. We live in an amazing time when crowdfunding can make dreams a reality. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Patreon, Buy Me Coffee. These are just a few of the funding opportunities that now exist to help bring money in from people that have a genuine interest in making these ideas happen. If you dig a project, you can now directly affect the outcome of that project by paying into their crowdfunding efforts. And not only can you help make a project happen, you can typically get some pretty cool and exclusive perks. This podcast was started back in 2013 with the purpose of drawing attention to Kickstarters for gaming companies. Over time, this evolved into other types of projects and featured other crowdfunding platforms. Okay, that brings us to today, and why Go Fund This is back with a new host after over a year hiatus. Back in March of this year, a pandemic hit that forced many of us to stay home and not go out in public. For people in gaming, comics, theater, music, podcasting, or that make their living launching projects, this meant that they had limited access to connecting with the public. Many conventions and live events, such as concerts and book signings, were just canceled outright. Even the normal daily interaction of standing in line for coffee and telling that person behind you about your awesome project was no longer available. How do you make the money you need to keep your dreams going if you can't interact with people? Okay, there's a number of answers, which I'm sure you're thinking about right now, but there is no one single solution. It's a mix of things that as creators, suddenly we all had to get really good at. That's where I come in. I'm Rob Southgate, co-founder of Southgate Media Group, the podcast network that you're listening to right now. You might have heard me before as I was a guest on Go Fund This with a Kickstarter I was running. In fact, I think I've been on more than once. Our company is known for podcasting, but we also run live events, publish books, have started microcons, and just create a ton of other types of cool content. When the pandemic hit, we got really concerned about our friends from the various artist alleys that we know from the different cons that we perform at. We have friends that are desperately trying to keep their amazing theaters afloat during this, and musicians that can't make a living this summer because they can't tour. So I started a show called Alley Chats that I post about 3 times a week to bring exposure to these amazingly talented people. It was during this project that I found a number of them had Kickstarters they needed to promote, or had Patreons that they were creating amazing content for and needed help spreading the word about. I reached out to Matt and asked if I could take over as host on this podcast so that I could help draw awareness to all this cool stuff that was out there and to help connect supporters with creators. Of course, he said yes. And here we are. On today's show, we have Ben Miller, co-founder of Guerilla Publishing, to talk about a Kickstarter he's got running for an anthology horror comic called Tales from the Cryptic Closet 2. It's a fantastic project by a team with a proven track record of making things happen. Check out the interview, then please check out his Kickstarter and help them get funded. Oh, and hey, one other thing you can do, even if you don't have the funds to help right now, share this episode across your social media and message a link to your friends that you think would be particularly interested in this comic. I know that from my projects, some of the biggest supporters came from word of mouth and people doing exactly what I just described. Okay, enough about me. Here's Ben. So my guest today is Ben Miller. Ben has been interviewed by me a number of times on different shows, but never here. And this is not your first Kickstarter, Ben. So this is my first time running this show. I'm so happy to have you as a guest. And I think ultimately you're the more experienced of the two of us at this right now. So, Ben, why don't you tell the audience about yourself?
Well, I've been in the comic book business, I guess, for a while now. I had started back, I think it was back in 2013, 2014, and entered a contest called You Create Comics, where you could, write a book and then they were, going to fund your graphic novel. I actually won that contest, and they promptly went out of business. So I did get a little bit of money to start my first issue of a book I did called Judges. And I did a mini series of that. And then not long after my first issue came out, I met two guys named Julio Guerra and J. Adam Farster. And, we kind of were all doing our own thing. Julio had this book called The Epic Misadventures of Deathbag. I had Judges. Adam had a book called Humalian. And then there became a point where we just kind of all decided that, we're all doing this thing individually. We all live near each other. We're all good friends. Let's kind of join up. And that's kind of how our company, Guerilla Publishing, came to be. And we've done Kickstarters before. I've done them personally for Judges. I did 2 for Judges. I did, we did one for Kanisha. We did one for Gunwork. We did one for Tales from the Cryptic Closet last year. And so then we, decided recently to launch our newest project, was Tales of the Cryptic Closet Volume 2. And that kind of the whole project kind of came into being by Julio's good friends with a guy named Vinny Malave, who owns a clothing company called The Cryptic Closet. He does a lot of horror-based stuff, and they work together at Pro Wrestling Tees in Chicago. And they decided to kind of do a mashup of his brand and our brand, and would do like an old, like EC Comics, Tales from the Crypt kind of book that we all came together to do an anthology of. And so that's kind of how we all came together to get to the point where we are now.
Yeah, and the first book was pretty successful. I remember you talking about that quite a bit. It's really cool that you're doing the second one, and you've brought new artists on board, some new writers. It's just a great project. Why don't you talk about what the actual book is and let people know, like, kind of the length and what you're trying to do with this Kickstarter?
The book is a horror anthology, and we've got 11 different stories in it. It's 72 pages long. It's twice the size as Volume 1, which is, I think, 32 pages. So more than twice the size, obviously. And it's just a anthology of different horror stories from different creators. I wrote a story in it. Julio's doing a story. Adam's doing a story. Ashley Esper. There's just a bunch of people that came together that are doing stories this time. For the first time working with John Parrish, who had previously, worked with Alterna. My story is being drawn by a guy named Othel Flowers. This is his first time working on this book. He did the cover for my last book, which is called Gunwork. So we, bringing in some new guys to kind of do stuff, and then people from the last book like Bill Hallier and Ashley Esper and Jorge Garza, and those guys are coming back to be on this book as well.
Yeah, really cool. I liked. I watched your Kickstarter video, and I loved it. And I know Julio. I love seeing Julio on there, and I thought that was just a really great introduction to this project and what you guys kind of do and what the vibe is. So I think that's one of the reasons it's connecting so well for people. We should spoil this. You just launched a couple days ago, right? And you've already hit the first goal.
Well, we've hit our original goal, and we've hit our first stretch goal.
Oh, I didn't know you hit the stretch goal. Congratulations. Yeah,
thanks. So the stretch goal was Tales from the Cryptic Closet has these sunglasses, and we called it the They Live reward. And it's so like these sunglasses, they have like a little like blood stain kind of thing on them. They're pretty cool. And everybody who backs any physical level now, because we reached this stretch goal, will get those sunglasses free. So we've hit that first. That was the original goal was 5,000, and then when we hit 6,000, everybody, that became one of the stretch goals that the guys over at Cryptic Closet are going to throw those sunglasses in.
Yeah. So, cool. Do you want to go through what the different reward levels are? I think that would be a good place to kind of get people understanding the scope of the project.
Yeah, cool. We have a thing where obviously you can just get the book. We have a thing where you can get the book and like some stickers and pens and stuff. We have a thing where you can actually get pint glasses with the logo on them. One of the big things is since Vinny and them run a t-shirt company. The t-shirt design is really cool, and it glows in the dark as well.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
So we've got that reward. There's some of the rewards are now gone just because we had a limited number. Like for originally we had you could get we did this on the first one where basically there are severed heads on the back of the book, and people could get their face drawn on the back of the book. But those went fairly quickly. Within the first 2 days, I think those were all gone. Because we had people last year asking how they could, end up on the back cover of the book. So people were kind of flocking to those early. So.
Yeah, I really dig on here looking through this. Like, you've got the Cryptic Closet Creep Club. You've got the T-shirt. You've got the collector pin. I'm looking at this stuff going, man, the pint glass is the design is so cool. Even if you didn't have the book, this would be a cool Kickstarter. But the book just makes it, amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're very lucky. Bill Hallier designed a lot of that stuff. And for people that don't know his work, he recently, just did, I think it's Horror Hound magazine, did a cover for them. He's, been in the comic industry, but he's also, does professional storyboarding for commercials and things like that. He goes way back to the days of he worked for Moonstone, so he's been around for a while, and we were very lucky to get him kind of do these designs and stuff like that and really work on it, with the Cryptic Club thing is kind of a takeoff on the Misfits thing, which, Cryptic Closet is kind of known for being a mashup, do a lot of mashup kind of stuff. So we were, we like the way it looks. And like I said, if it glows in the dark. And so it's a really cool shirt. I can't wait to get mine. So that's my thing is if I want it, I think other people will want it too. So. That's
a really good way to go about creating rewards. If it's something that you are yeah, man, I need to order my own at the same time, that's a really good indicator that's a good reward, because I'm looking through these and every one of them is a good reward. I mean, I think it's all cool. Now, you do have stretch goals. Do you want to talk about some of the different stretch goals? What happens when we hit the next level, let's say?
The next level is 6,666.
Appropriate.
We're less than 500 away from that, and what that is, we will add another tier at that point, and then you can get the Cryptic Creep character, which is the character that kind of ties all the stories together. Comes on the you wouldn't see the Crypt Keeper or something like that, and comes on and just does little intros to each story and thing like that. That character, there's a plush doll that you can get, it'll be another level added up just above the T-shirt level, where you can still get the T-shirt and everything else, but you can also get that plush doll. And we did this stretch goal this way just in order to, because when you're ordering things like this, you need to have a minimum order, and so that way it covers the cost. Create the plush doll, but yeah, we have the prototype for the plush doll already. I think it's amazingly, terrifyingly cool looking little plush thing. So there's this picture of it on the Kickstarter. We've got that up and we're excited about that. That's another thing that I want that to happen so I can get it.
Right. And it is so cool looking.
So we're excited about that. As far as levels beyond that, there's been some discussion on what might happen, whether we might, do an exclusive print, just some other things. But right now, that's our main focus is hitting that next goal where, we can offer the plush doll to people. They can be excited about having it and stuff like that. So.
And we should emphasize once again, anyone that this is a Kickstarter. It's not a GoFundMe or anything. It's It's a Kickstarter, and just type in "Tales from the Cryptic Closet 2. And you're going to find it. And actually, you have, when you did the first Cryptic Closet, that is still on there, and you can still look and see. I mean, you guys rocked that first one.
Yeah, it did well. It did
this
well.
One, you're crushing it.
It did well on the Kickstarter, and then we were lucky enough. Vinny and Julio and so another guy did a kind of their own like horror pop-up weekend shop / convention kind of thing called Horror House. That was in Chicago, and we released the book there, physically. And like that's the most we've sold a single book in any day.
Wow.
Like including, our sales on C2E2, like it felt like everybody who came in the doors bought the book almost. It was just flying off. And so it kind of built the two things, like the Kickstarter audience and then the people who got the book physically audience kind of then we're looking out for this next one. Because we're trying to make this an annual thing of that we do it every year. Then we release the book, in October, because obviously it takes time to print and stuff. So once it's done, the Kickstarter, you get the money after a couple weeks, and then, we go off to the printing or whatever. So we're trying to make this an annual thing. And so those two kind of groups kind of came together to help us kind of shoot up, for the Kickstarter. I was shocked because I've run Kickstarters before, and it's a grind just to hit that goal. And then it felt like I was just watching the numbers just scroll up as I was going on.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised myself when I saw you went live, and I was like, okay, great, I'm going to have Ben on. And it was like, you guys hit that number so fast. I was completely impressed, man, for a comic. And it shows, though. If you look at the material, it's fantastic.
We really stress this on trying to make it look as professional as possible. Bill did a lot of design stuff. Adam Farster, our other partner, did a lot of design stuff on the page. Vinny and Julio and Moses did the video, which I really enjoy, that they worked on together. And then we just have other people that's one thing nice about doing an anthology. You have other people. I know Jack and Maria Gonzalez have been on some of your podcasts before. Jack's part of the Kickstarter, and so he promotes it. Just different people that are a part of the group or whatever are able then to promote it. And so it's helpful that you get not just like the Guerilla fans, but then the fans of like each person that's out there, promoting the book, their fans can kind of see this is something that they're involved in. So that's the nice part about doing an anthology is that, you get a lot of different people and a lot of different fan groups in on that. Yeah.
And when you're putting the quality out that you are, it makes it a real easy sell. I mean, if you only know one artist, but it's this high a quality, you're going to jump in. I mean,
yeah.
I know so many of you guys. Like, I'm a big fan of yours, as you know. I think Judge's is fantastic. Julio's stuff is, amazing. Jack is incredible. So, I mean, this is just a killer lineup. And those are just the ones that I'm friends with, So this is really great. When does the Kickstarter go until?
The Kickstarter's last day, I believe, is July 19th. That'll be the last day you can get it, obviously. And so, we've got, I think that's 17 days. What day? I don't even know what day.
17 days.
17 days or whatever. We still got some time left on it. We're excited about, where it can go from here. I don't know what to expect. Because we didn't expect quite this.
Yeah, this quick. So fast.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to whatever's next.
Yeah. So I have a couple more questions. One is, I know that people can contact you through the Kickstarter, but if you want to give, where can people contact you via social media, via email? What are the best ways to get you?
Well, you can always contact us through email through Guerilla Publishing Group at Gmail. That's Guerilla with a GUE, not like the monkey. And then you can we're Guerilla Publishing on Instagram. We're Guerilla Pub on Twitter. We have a Guerilla Publishing Group on Facebook. Ben Miller on Facebook. I don't have any, I just converted all my own accounts, my own social media over to Guerilla Publishing. So I don't have my own social media accounts other than Facebook. But you can find us any of those places. You can contact us that way. We're always willing to talk to fans and, artists and creatives. We're open to talking to them as well. So.
Yeah, man. I think that does it. I will put links in the show notes, obviously, to the Kickstarter, and then also put your social media in there so people can reach out to you. I think this is just an absolute fantastic project. I hope everybody that's listening backs this and gets involved. If you got to sell more of those tumblers or make more of those tumblers, do it, because I think that's a tier that people are going to really want to jump in on.
Yeah.
That's it, Ben. Thank you so much for being on. Thanks for being my first guest, helping me stumble through this first one. It'll only get better. So by the time Cryptic Closet 3 happens, this will be even smoother. We'll have you on then, too. All right?
Thanks. I appreciate it. We appreciate the publicity and, just being able to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
Tales from the Cryptic Closet is really fantastic and deserves your time checking it out. I've put the link to the Kickstarter in the show notes, and we'll also have it on posts at our social media. Once again, sharing this project with your followers and friends is key, so please be an active participant in this project and spread the word. While you're in the mood, please share this episode. That not only helps Ben, but also draws attention to this show, which we can always use. Oh, and please rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening to this on. It only takes a few seconds, and it makes a huge impact on how many people see when we post a new episode. If you have a crowdfunding project or know of a really great one that you want to tell us about, reach out to me, Rob, at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com, or on Twitter, @rsouthgate, that goes directly to me, or on Facebook for this show. Search for Go Fund This Podcast. Tell me a little about the project or what it is that you create if you have a Patreon, and I'll consider featuring it on the show. I would love to help you make your project a reality. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, go fund something.